what's going on, Jets fans? Welcome into the Jets Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, I'm explaining to you guys why I truly believe the New York Jets pulled off highway robbery at the NFL trade deadline. We'll be diving into the Sauce Gardner trade, the Quinnen Williams trade, and why this actually set the Jets up to find some success here over the next couple of seasons. But before we do so, we are closing in here on 11,000 subscribers, and we are knocking on that door. We are just 5 subscribers away. So if you guys could help me out, make me look good for my bosses, and also help us reach the next milestone here on the channel, hit that subscribe button today. I promise you, there are 5 people watching right now that aren't subscribed to the channel. So hit that subscribe button today and help us reach 11K. All right, so we're going to dive into the Sauce Gardner trade first, then talk about Quinnen Williams, and then talk about the Jets here moving forward in the future. But the Sauce Gardner trade was an absolute steal, in my opinion. You're able to acquire 2 first-round picks, one in 2026 and one in 2027. Then you also got wide receiver A.D. Mitchell. Now, I will say, the 2026 first-round pick probably would be mid-20s, around there. But there is no guarantee that that 2027 first-round pick isn't potentially a top 10 pick. Because I would not be shocked at this exact same time next season where we're looking up and it's like, man, the Colts are 3-5. Daniel Jones went full pumpkin mode, and that could potentially be a top 15 pick. And I think this was an absolute fleece job by Darren Mougey. I will give him full credit for this deal because it is a tough move to make. Like Sauce Gardner, clearly a fan favorite amongst Jets fans. And the fact that you were able to acquire 2 first-round picks and a promising young wide receiver in A.D. Mitchell, I think that's an absolute fleece job because this was not an easy move to make. You kind of had to put your nuts on the table with this move, telling the fan base, like, yes, we are going to be worse for the rest of this season, but we're also going to set ourselves up for the future. And apparently there are reports out there that the Colts are calling the Jets for weeks about, not only Sauce Gardner, but a lot of corners on their roster. Now, Mougey did kind of hint at that he didn't want to, move off Sauce, but they got a deal they couldn't refuse. So I like the process there by Mougey where he was saying, like, hey, everybody is on the table. We are 1-7. Everybody should be on the table. And he was not just going to let one of his marquee players walk without getting blown away by an offer. And then eventually the Colts got to a point, like I'm assuming this started as just like a first-round pick. And Mougey was like, I'm going to need more of that. Maybe it was like a first and a third. And then they finally got it up to 2 firsts. And then maybe Mougey right at the deadline was like, all right, we'll take the 2 firsts. But you also got to throw in A.D. Mitchell. So I like the process there from Mougey. I thought it was an absolute fleece job. But Sauce Gardner tweeting this out after the trade saying, New York, it's been real with a green heart. And I am happy for Sauce Gardner because he is, even when he's not playing good football, he is still a top 10 cornerback in the league. And the one thing I don't like after these deals that I've seen from Jets fans is them kind of discrediting who Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams are as players. Like, they are still tremendous, tremendous players. Now, do I think the Colts overpaid for Sauce Gardner? 110%. But also I'm happy that Sauce, he's going to go able to play in a playoff game this year for the first time in his NFL career. So that's going to be cool to see him in the NFL playoffs. But now let's dive into the Quinnen Williams trade. I also love this move as well. You're able to get another player, Mazi Smith, who obviously hasn't worked out with the Dallas Cowboys. But maybe a change of scenery could have him live up to that draft hype he had coming out of the draft. But you're able to get a 2026 second-round pick. That's probably going to be a top 45 selection since the Cowboys are 3-5. NFC is a wagon this season. So that's probably going to be a top 45 pick. And then this is the kicker, 2027 first rounder. It is going to be the better pick of either the Cowboys or the Packers for that season. So, injuries happen all the time in the NFL. Like, what if Dak Prescott or Jordan Love have to miss that entire season? Like, that could still potentially be a top 10 pick. So I thought this was a fleece job as well. But Quinnen Williams had this to say after the trade, saying, New York will always have a special place in my heart. To my teammates, coaches, and the entire Jets organization, thank you for believing in me and helping me develop on and off the field. To the fans, thank you for embracing a kid from Alabama and showing love through every high and low. You welcomed me with open arms and gave me a place to grow. Your energy and passion made every game unforgettable. I'm excited for what's next in Dallas and can't wait to go to work. And this was just straight up class by Quinnen Williams because, listen, he could have taken a shot at the Jets organization, but he didn't. He gave a credit to his teammates, the coaching staff, the front office, and I love the best part, or I thought the best part of that was just shouting out to fans because obviously Jets fans have gone through a whole lot. Quinnen recognizes that, but they still show up every single game supporting this football team. So straight clash from Quinnen. But then also Jermaine Johnson, obviously he was feeling a type of way after yesterday's deadline, and this is what he had to say, saying, I'd be lying if I said I was happy or if I was happy my brothers are gone, because I'm not. I'm sick. But I believe strongly in the organization, staff, and my other brothers in the locker room. I said when I got drafted, I want to be a reason or part of the reason this thing gets changed for the better, and that's going to continue to be my outlook. I love this team and this fan base, and y'all will continue to get my all, my absolute best on and off the field. Let's look onward and upward because better things are coming, and I give my word on that. Go Jets, always. Also ended up throwing a green heart in there at the end. And again, straight clash from Jermaine as well. Like, I love his mindset because obviously that has to hurt. Like, if you have, this could just be even, people you work with. Like, imagine there's trades in your work life and just guys were, getting traded off, and guys that you love to work with, guys that were good at their jobs. Like, it's definitely got to hurt. But also Jermaine sees the bigger picture here, and sometimes that's hard to do, especially if you are a premium player in the kind of prime of his NFL career. I like that he was at least able to look forward and, see what is going to be next here for the New York Jets. So I'll ask you guys this. Which trade was better? Frankly, I think it's not even close. I think it's the Sauce Gardner deal because I think Quinnen Williams, like, if you asked me before the trades went down yesterday, who has more trade value, I would probably say Quinnen, just because he plays defensive tackle close to the football compared to Sauce being a boundary corner. But you're able to get 2 firsts and a young player for Sauce. I think that was fantastic. So you guys let me know which trade was better, but I'm going with Sauce Gardner. All right, let's talk about what this means for the Jets moving forward, because they open up a lot of cap space and they got a lot of draft capital. And, this Jets team, they're setting themselves up to, really do anything you want. But more specifically, for this upcoming free agency class. Right now, after the Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner trade, the Jets will have around $96 million to spend, which is the 6th most in the entire NFL. They will still have the 2nd most dead cap at $50 million because of Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. But you have $96 million to spend. And this offseason for the Jets, like, it's going to be electric. Like, I think everybody's kind of focusing in on the draft for right reason. I mean, you got 7 picks in the first 2 rounds over the next 2 seasons, but mainly free agency, man. Like, you're going to be able to go out there, sign some proven commodities. I think that's it's going to be a very exciting time over the next couple of months, or a couple of months after the NFL season wraps up, to just see who the Jets bring in, kind of see who, like, truly are the Aaron Glenn guys that they're going to go try and sign. And, listen, I also think this has to, be said, and this is an obvious take by me. The Jets are going to be a very bad football team for the rest of the season, and most likely for the next 2 seasons. When you're going in a full rebuild like this, where you're opening up cap space, you're getting draft capital, you're shipping out to your best players, like, you are going to be a worse football team. When you trade Sauce, when you trade Quinnen, you're obviously going to take a step back. But that is okay. The Jets weren't going anywhere regardless. And that's why I respect that this front office and this coaching staff was able to kind of show great self-awareness, because I thought a little bit after that Bengals game, maybe some delusion would set in where they're thinking, like, obviously not they're going to go on a playoff run, but maybe they're thinking, hey, what if we get to 7-6 wins this season, establish a culture? Would that have some value? I think it would, but I do like them showing some self-awareness, saying, hey, we're not a good football team. Let's try to move on. And you're not going to be very good over the next couple of years, but that's okay because you got this haul. I mean, this is just absolutely glorious to look at. In 2026, you're going to have 4 picks, probably in the top 45. So you're going to be able to get a lot of young talent in that room, whether that's you finding that franchise quarterback or finding another wide receiver next to Garrett, or just going all defense, which probably lean the Jets doing. I mean, you could get, potentially Caleb Downs. Maybe you get, another defensive tackle with that Colts pick, and then you could just kind of take your pick of the litter with your 2 second-rounders. But then you got 3 first-round picks in 2027, going to be one of the most stacked draft classes that we have seen in recent memory. But I will say, like, there's now a lot of pressure on Darren Mougey to find the franchise quarterback, because, all 7 of those draft picks the Jets have, like, let's just say you hit on 6 of the 7, but the quarterback you take doesn't work out, you're probably going to end up getting fired. And whether that's fair or not, it's just the reality of the NFL. But also on the opposite side of the spectrum, like, let's just say you miss on 6 of those 7 draft picks, but you find that franchise quarterback, then they're probably getting an extension. So it's going to come down to that. I saw something pretty funny. What if the Jets offer all 5 of those first-round picks to the Cincinnati Bengals for Joe Burrow? Probably will do a full show on that. Interesting conversation, but that's a lot of fun to talk about. So we'll talk about that on a future show. But if you guys made it to the end, we appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. If you guys could give me a Go Jets down below, and we'll get on out of here. As always, Go Jets.